Hi, welcome to this video day. It's the 28th of February, it's Thursday. We're just going to be looking at a simple trading strategy to get you really good risk to reward entries at trend reversals. We looked at this strategy at the weekend. I just want to update the trade that I gave in that video. Someone said, oh, it went right. It did go right, okay, but it doesn't actually matter, okay? The risk to reward is so good. You can get the majority of your trades wrong and still make really good profits. I also want to look at a trade setup shaping up right now in the markets. Now, in terms of this trading strategy, it is price action and Bollinger Bands to time the entry. But what I will also use, and which you can use as well to basically filter your trades, is look for a sentiment discount on the trade setup that you want to take. See if it's there. Now, in terms of what a sentiment discount is, I'm just going to explain that as I do the charts. Now, in terms of this trade setup, a little bit of practice, and you've got a very simple strategy that's just so easy to understand and have confidence in longer term, because the logic is timeless. Right, now we are going to go and look at the charts, but please do keep in mind, it is my view as of right now. It can change in line with the market conditions. If you want all our trading techniques and our daily technical analysis of 14 major Forex pairs, you can get live access to our member center on the link beneath this video. Right, let's go to the charts.
Just on the chart of USD CNH, which is just a trade setup I'm looking at right now. The trade setup will basically work on any pair. You tend to find it works best in high volatility. This is a nice volatile pair. Now, in terms of, just before I forget, I did say you could look at the video at the weekend we did for more examples of this setup. And a good one actually is another video we've got out, which is GBP NZD, which we've been tracking in videos. We used this type of setup to enter that trade. It's up over 700 pips, okay? So it can get you really good trade entries. And in terms of a bearish market discount, the GBP had that when we took the trade, and I think the USD CNH has got it. Now, in terms of strategy, pretty simple. You've got just for those of you who don't know Bollinger Bands, you've got a mid band in the Bollinger Band, which is 20-day moving average, which just smooths out short-term price fluctuations, okay? And got two outer bands set 2 deviations from the mean. What that simply means is when you've got the candles small going sideways, the bands are tight. When the volatility picks up, like here, the bands become wider. And this strategy suits higher volatility. Okay. Now, in terms of what we've got is basically the USD has fallen down. But what you'll tend to see is when prices poke outside of the outer Bollinger Band, they'll try and travel back to the mean, especially when you get higher volatility. I mean, here you get quite a nice drop, but you will travel back towards the mean price. Whenever you get sharp drops, you'll tend to find that. So here, sharp drop outside of the outer Bollinger Band, still outside, comes back in, nearly gets to the mean price. Here, one small poke outside, steady on the outer, back to the mean price. Quite like it here. This is my trade setup, because get a nice fall down. The bands are nice and wide, okay? And we're now back within the outer Bollinger Band, okay? Now, from my perspective, and I'll explain a little bit more in a moment on the bearish sentiment discount, that's kind of your resistance. Those 2 candles over, 3 candles over here. These 2 here. So this is where you want to take out, just to confirm an exhaustion of the bearish sentiment. And this is the exhaustion for me as we tumble down there. Now, in terms of the market sentiment, is generally bearish USD CNH. Traders are bearish of US interest rates. They can't get any more bearish than they are now, so that's in the price. Market bullish of a China-US trade agreement. That's basically in the price now because they've just pushed it forward. Okay, so there's no trade agreement yet. So people who thought there would be an agreement quickly, are they going to cover and get out? I just feel there's no more bearish news for the dollar coming. 4 candles, indecision going sideways. You've got support there. Okay. And now you want to see that level taken out. So I'll draw trajectory as well. Clear out of the channel. Then, and this is because there's a bearish sentiment discount in it. In terms of this pair, prices have mostly been, well, they've held, they've gone to the mean and then basically come back, outside, trying to get back to the mean, back to the outer, back to the mean, trying to get through it, trying to get away from it. Hasn't yet been able to do it. You can look, as we did in the video at the weekend, for a band-to-band trade, and you watch the mid-band and go for the outer band. So I'm looking for resistance near the outer band, which I'm going to say 680 looks a reasonable level. If I can get my line straight. So that is the objective. And if she breaks, you're looking for immediate follow through. See if the mid band breaks, okay? If it does, you can protect yourself back behind the mid. Like when it broke here, you can protect yourself behind the mid in case she comes back. But then look for the run to the outer, okay? Now, in terms of the risk reward on this one, it's around 4 to 1, okay? You don't have a lot of risk because you're coming in at a turning point. Also, what I quite like in this setup is basically get the RSI oversold and she starts to turn up, which we're getting now. We haven't broken out yet. You had it here when we were at the outer band, and you had it here when you at the outer band and came back towards the mid. So it's a pretty simple setup, really, and you're just really taking advantage of price overshoots when speculators get too bullish, or in this case, I think too bearish of the dollar. I like this as a decent risk to reward trade, and I'm going to do this one. Let's have a look at Euro SEK, which is a trade setup I've highlighted at the weekend, and see where we are with that. Right, just Euro SEK. Let's have a quick look at it. In terms of here, down here, small candles round the mid, band's quite tight. Then they expand, and you get a nice move to the upside. This is slightly different kind of setup to the last one. There's plenty of variations, but this is looking for exhaustion outside of the outer band. And in terms of the way the candles moved from here is significant. Big blue outside exhausts and comes back in. Yeah, there's no weakness though. There's no point in selling it. Still strong near the outer band. Another blue goes through the band, through that tail, but settles back below it. Okay, still looking for it to exhaust, and this candle here I highlighted at the weekend is for me the signal of exhaustion, because the tail can't get past that tail. Okay, and we don't finish blue, we finish red at the low of the day. So basically just sell it and she'll go to the mid. She's come back above it at the moment, so I'm just going to explain what I'm doing with this trade. But yeah, she exhausts and goes back to the mid. Now, in terms of, I just want to draw a trajectory, which is there. Just give me the general slope of the trend, if I get my line right. Sorry, my mouse isn't working. What will we do with the setup now? We were aiming for this to run band to band as well, but we come back above the mid. Take half off, okay, and then put the stop on the other half back behind the candle tail high. It'll be a very small profit on that one. It'll be an okay profit on the one taken at the 20. And basically you're going to come out with something on this trade if you do that, okay, and you might get the run on. If she does come through here again, still in, and we've got the opportunity to drop back in our 50%. I said at the weekend I still felt, or I still feel, that it is going to target major support, which is there. Obviously, as it comes down, this band will creep up to 1040. So 50% out for now. And we can see if we want to put it back in. So basically, I'll come out of this trade with something, okay? I'm just playing it safe because we've just bounced back above the 20. But the setup itself is just practice, really. There's plenty of variations that we use, but they're all simple, okay? Talking of news discount, did this have a news discount on it? Yes, it did. I won't discuss it here because just take the view that if there is a sentiment discount, it makes it a better trade setup. Basically, it was to do with the Swedish inflation data, bad news being in the price. So I won't discuss it into too great a detail. You get the general picture. You can obviously check out the video we did at the weekend. Also, GBP, NZD. Yeah, it's very simple. Well, I've said that already. Simple trade setup. I just like it. Right, that is the video for today. Thank you very much for watching me as usual. Take care. Have a good day.